The background to this webinar is that recent health and safety legislation changes in Australia and indeed in New Zealand mean that corporations must take a far more active approach to managing the risks associated with corporate travel or risk criminal prosecution. To cover the topic today and to give us a guidance, we have Alana Titterton and Tony Ridley.
So then breaking down those processes, which again, anybody who's spent longer than 10 minutes in the health and safety space would be familiar with the concept of job safety analysis. So that job safety analysis is breaking down those steps and looking at those elements that can create hazards that have their own particular outcomes. Are they controlled? What are some of the control measures? The elimination, substitution, engineering, all of those types of things that happen pre and post control. So a hazard as it appears, everybody's got a different risk appetite, as do organisations, and there's varying control measures. Let's say an oil and gas or energy sector organisation's got a vastly different risk appetite to that of a financial organisation or investment firm, for example. So by defining and documenting these processes, but in particular creating subsets of identifying, and I've used one here as an example recently where we had an organisation who were quickly adopting the use of mobile apps for booking taxis on the fly, but when in the organisation they have licensed drivers, there's an education process, there's procurements, there's a whole bunch of other control measures to make sure that they do not have workplace accidents, yet they were allowing individual business travellers to randomly be picked up by unlicensed vehicles because it was more of a convenience than being able to demonstrate any control measures. Now, I'm not saying that in that particular instance that should not be used, but you should start to get the idea of the process that if you are not following a systematic documentation or systematic methodology, then you simply don't have what is reasonably demonstratable as either a health and safety or a risk management system. So breaking down these processes, determining the risk, determining control measures, and then the residual risk that's left after that, this is where the decision-making process begins to say, well, this journey, this particular route, this destination, this individual, or the current construct of this particular journey either comes into question, or it's a risk that we're just not happy to take, or it's demonstrable that it's too high a risk to the individual and or the organisation. Again, there needs to be a demonstration or demonstratable process.